Hi everyone, I am gonna move to Japan tomorrow. My cheeks have not been this clenched since October of '62, you know. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, and perhaps you would like to join me, not in clenching your butt cheeks, well that as well, I guess, but in moving to Japan at some point, yes. Maybe not tomorrow, that's a bit ambitious. And given that I've just gone through the sexy process of preparing everything for the moving to Japan bit of my life, the logistics of applying for a visa, all the paperwork needed in order to get to live and study in Japan and so on, I thought I'd go through all the steps I've taken leading up to this move. As you can tell, you will perhaps not be drooling at the screen of this video, not just because I've just cut my hair and I look like Julie Andrews, but also because it's not a very sexy topic, you know. I will try to spruce things up as much as I can though, throw in a nipple here and there, you know. To be fair, I haven't actually been let into the country yet, so you know, all of this might be complete bullshit, who knows. I suppose I will publish this video from Japan though, so you know, we'll see if I get there. It worked! Yay, I'm actually here now. So turns out this video was not complete bullshit after all, yay! So in order to live in Japan for a period of longer than 3 months, there are a couple of things you will need. Ultimately, you need a visa. In order to get a visa, you need what's called a CoE, or a Certificate of Eligibility. In order to get one of those, you need to get sponsored by someone in Japan. And lastly, in order to get sponsored by someone in Japan, you need a semi-handsome Swedish boy to make a video about this whole thing. I, for instance, will go there on a student visa. I got mine just a few days ago, actually. Yay. I didn't plan on going to Japan as a student when I first tried to move to Japan, though. I tried to get what's called an international services visa, which is the same thing as an engineer or a specialist in humanities visa, because I'm good at English. I didn't get it though, so apparently I'm not that good. That's the type of visa you will apply for if you go to Japan as an ALT or an English instructor, which is the most common way I think of people to get a working visa in Japan. In other words, the type of visa you need depends on what you want to do in Japan. But as far as I can tell, at least, the process of getting one is pretty much the same. So let's go through this. Step 1, people. Well, getting sponsored, what the hell does that mean? It sounds like you end up in Japan with like a, a Japanese company logo tattooed on your face or something. The Pokemon company, you know, yeah. Unless you are lucky enough to be married to a Japanese person, or if you have a family member who can sort of bring you along with them into the country. The two most common ways of getting a visa is through work or studies, as I mentioned, yes. As I said, I first tried to get a working visa through a Japanese company that would hire me as an English instructor. That meant that I needed them to tell the Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs that I was invaluable for that company, and by extension Japan as a whole, and that I needed to be let into the country. That's what being sponsored means, really. If you go this route, you basically need a job in Japan before you can go there. So you go through the recruitment process as you would for any other job, I suppose. The difference being that you might have Skype interviews rather than interviews at the company, obviously, at pretty awkward times. Speaking from experience, it was very strange going up at 8 in the morning and dressing up in an interview outfit and then just sitting down in front of your computer, trying to hide anything awkward in the background, you know. This peach shop that I had behind me is probably what made me not get the job in the end. Or, you know, at least that's the excuse I tell myself, yeah. You can also get sponsored by a school in Japan, either a language school or a university. This way you don't need to be a specialist in anything, yay. You just need to be accepted by the school, which of course is its own process in itself, really. This is a lot easier than going through the work visa, as far as I could tell at least. The process of applying for a student visa was a lot more straightforward. As I said, this is not a very sexy topic, but look at this, that's Heidi Klum, isn't that? That's interesting. So after your company or your school has submitted the application to the ministry that tells the ministry that you are invaluable for the Japanese economy not to collapse, you need to cross your fingers, shove them up your ass, and wait for the ministry to reach their verdict. Yes. When you've been given the okay from the company or the school, getting the CoE is mainly just a formality, really, as far as I understand. A f***ing nerve-wracking formality that you will have to wait a long time for. At least I did. I didn't go to the toilet for about 3 months. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs can still reject your application and you might still not get your CoE, despite being sponsored. Because of this, I was told to book flight tickets that I could either cancel or change, depending on if I got the CoE or not. Sort of leave the suspense hanging, you know. When you do get the CoE though, the feeling is f***ing fantastic. Every sphincter in your body let go at once, you know. Lots of sphincter talk in this video, I do apologize. It is a fantastic and very emotional experience that is worth celebrating, definitely. You can remove your fingers now, jeez, goodness. So step 3, The CoE in itself is really just a document that shows that you have a sponsor that has been approved by the ministry. You then need to take this document along with your passport, a picture of yourself, a picture of your mother, 5 bananas, and a letter from the sponsor to the Japanese embassy or consulate in your country, because they are the ones who will give you your actual visa. Again, this step is mainly just a formality, which thankfully didn't take nearly as long as the last one. I think I got my visa about a week after I handed in the CoE. But that's it. Once you have your visa, you should get let into the country. This is apparently not guaranteed, even at this point. For whatever reason, you can still get held up in immigration at the airport when you arrive. At least they make a point about telling you that all the way throughout this process. As I said, I still haven't entered Japan, so I guess we'll see how this goes. Maybe the Japanese immigration system find out about my very silly YouTube channel and decide that I am way too immature to be let into the country. Who knows? To that I say, yeah, fair enough. Getting the Japanese visa is not the only thing that I have done though in order to prepare for this move. I've also Googled Japan, you know, I think I know where it is now at least. I've also watched through the Avatar: The Last Airbender, you know, got steeped into the culture. You know, I'm ready. I have also found a place to live in Tokyo. Luckily, I was recommended or told about Oak House, which is a website where you can look for apartments and which seems very friendly to foreigners who don't speak any Japanese. The website has an English version as well as one in Chinese, French and Korean, I think. There is a bunch of stuff to be said about finding accommodation in Japan, and I might very well make a separate video about that, yeah, once I've actually moved in and gone through this whole process. What I can say right now is that Oak House have been very helpful in helping me find suitable accommodation and helping me transfer money to the Japanese bank accounts and stuff like that, given support in English as well. So that's very helpful because I don't speak a word of Japanese really. But again, I'll let you know more about this once I've actually moved into the apartment that I have. Who knows, it might be a complete dump. Yeah. Although having lived in London, anything that is not a mold infested hole is really nothing to complain about. You will obviously get a full apartment tour once I've settled down in a future video. I'm gonna go full on typical, you know, J vlogger. It's gonna be terrible. Other than that, I've made sure to sort of study up on my Japanese as much as possible. Brush off my hiragana and katakana, make sure I know those at least. Finally, as a last step of preparing for the big move, I have obviously packed my shit as well. So here's a quick guide for what you should bring when you move to Japan. Yeah, you need your clothes apparently. You need a computer, bring the Switch as well. Bring the Stockholm themed dildo is always good. You need a couple of adapters, tuppstrutten obviously. Sense of self-worth, that's optional by the way. A picture of your mother however is not optional. 5 bananas and 1 book. And then you're all f***ing set, yeah. So after all this, I feel kind of ready, I think. I guess we'll see you in the next video. Yeah! The last couple of days have been strange. I've been saying goodbye to everyone and I have... it's impossible not to think that, you know, this is the last time I do the laundry and this is the last time I have breakfast and last time I have, you know, dinner with the family or whatever. At this point, when it's this close, I really just want to get going. I'm not gonna be able to focus and do anything tomorrow before the flight leaves. I'm gonna try to edit this video, for instance, I guess. Anyway, that is it. Yes, thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, leave it a like and a comment below, and if you want to see more from this series and how this actually turns out and how it goes for me, do subscribe if you want to, yes. And you know, wish me luck, I guess. We'll see how this whole thing went in the next video, yeah. Unless Japanese immigration find the 50 kilos of illegal substances I plan on smuggling into the country rectally, yes. But yeah, we'll see how that goes as well. Alright, thank you for watching, bye everyone, bye, 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 bye.